Hi, I'm Robin Schilling, National Executive Director from Shillington, Pennsylvania. And today I'd like to talk to you about being a teachable leader. And again, we're going to define leader as anyone who is currently a director or above, or they are working towards that goal. So for our purposes, that is our definition of leader. So I often find training CDs and books that I think will help me grow in my business. And I was reading John Maxwell's book, Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn. And while I've always known that learning from your failures is the best way to not repeat them, this book is really helping me to affirm and create a plan around making sure I learn from every experience I have, whether it's good or bad. Oftentimes we chalk failures up to the saying, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I'm sure you've heard that often enough. But learning from your failures or bad experiences is truly a key to growth, both personally and professionally. If we don't learn from them, we're going to keep repeating them. So John Maxwell says that John Maxwell says that when you say, sometimes you win and sometimes you lose, you're really saying that you hope to win, expect to lose, and live with the results either way. That's not how a winner thinks, and that's not how a leader who is growing thinks. Successful people just don't brush failure under the rug. They learn from it. You also need to learn from your successes and repeat them so that you can continue to do those good things. So I strongly encourage you to use the power plan that was just introduced at this year's national conference. It's not only going to help you plan your month, it also gives you a written record of what you did. It not only helps you plan for your consultant activity, but you can also use it to plan your leader activities. Having a written record helps us to see what works, but it also allows us to process what went well and where we need to improve. That process is called reflection. I'm getting better at that, but I still have a long way to go till I feel proficient in reflection. I find that I'm too quick to move on to something else that seems to be pressing on my schedule, rather than to take time to reflect on what just happened. Sue Rush was a former leader with Pampered Chef and a very dear friend of mine, and one of my biggest mentors. She talked about reflecting on your meeting afterwards. What went well at your meeting? What stood out for excelling or needing more help? What dynamics took place? Were you able to identify a leader during that meeting? And what segments worked? And why didn't they work if you have a segment that didn't? Reflection is a really valuable tool that is underused for growth and learning from our wins and our losses. I really encourage you to schedule time to reflect on your business and its different aspects. Don't just clumsily move forward hoping for the best. And that brings me to asking you this question. Are you a teachable leader? Being teachable is really just about attitude. Up to 85% of success in life is due to attitude, while only 15% is due to ability. Let me repeat that to you. Up to 85% of success in life is due to attitude, while only 15% is due to ability. So an attitude of being open to new things, new ideas, new concepts is really the key to being teachable. If we're not open to listen with an open mind and learn, we're not going to grow. And if we aren't open to doing and trying new things, we're not going to grow. What is your attitude about learning? People with a teachable spirit approach each day as an opportunity for a learning experience. A lot of learning comes from reflecting on the day's activities and asking yourself some tough questions. Tough questions like, could I have handled that differently? Could I have used a different approach? Could I have responded in a different way? Often when I do this, I realize an apology is needed to someone that I might have been hasty or indifferent to. And when I reflect on that, it gives me time to deal with it right away instead of letting it go on too long. Or I can correct the way I answer that question the next time that I'm dealing with a similar situation. Again, reflect and learn. Another way to grow is to seek out the learning on a topic or area that you want to know more about. John Maxwell defines teachability as possessing the intentional attitude and behavior to keep learning and growing throughout life. I'm going to repeat that one for you too, because that one was pretty profound for me. John Maxwell defines teachability as possessing the intentional attitude and behavior to keep learning and growing throughout life. I'm sure you've heard this before, that the secret to any person's success can be found in their daily agenda. People grow, not in huge leaps and bounds, but in small daily changes. I'm sure by now you've heard about the miracle on the Hudson story with Captain Sully. I'd like to remind you that when Katie Couric interviewed him shortly after he landed that plane on the Hudson River, Captain Sully said, "Small daily practices that lead up to knowing what to do instinctively is the reason why he was able to land that plane under critical situation happenings that were on that plane." So, if you want to be a teachable leader that learns from losses and wins, then make learning your daily habit. It may not change your life in a day, but it will change the days of your life. Another habit is being in touch with your business through systems. And I know this is something we've talked about a lot. Organizations, systems, those kind of things are an ongoing struggle for almost everybody. But there are a couple of key things that you can do to help keep yourself focused. So one thing to do is to always make 3 contacts a day. It's important for your business to continue to grow, and it'll help you get your next month booked by the 15th of the current month. Are you making enough contacts to make that happen? Are you always looking ahead 90 days to see what you have on your personal schedule and what holidays or season changes are happening? We are much more effective as leaders when we are proactive rather than being reactive. So look forward in your schedule and see what needs to be done, and then make time to accomplish those tasks well in advance. As a leader, you should do your very best to be doing 2 shows a week, or 6 to 8 shows a month minimum as a leader. And that can be in any combination of live, catalog, virtual, any type of show is counted in that 6 to 8 show minimum. What are you doing to make sure that your schedule is full enough to avoid the "what if we don't go green" cycle? As a leader, you must do the majority of the sales and be in front of enough people so that your team continues to grow. Plus, working to gain 2 bookings per show as a goal for continued growth. The other thing that I have found to be extremely helpful was when I was working the last week of one month and the first 3 weeks of the next month as my business month. And the only time that I didn't do that is if it was a double points month or something that I needed to have done or accomplished in a certain month. Have a host coaching system that works for you. Calls, notes, emails, text, Facebook messages. And be sure you're sharing goals with your host. Let her know that you have an attendance goal, an order goal, and booking goals, and enlist her help to get them. 1 recruit minimum a month is exactly what you need to keep your team growing. Plus, helping them bring people in as well. If you've got a brand new consultant, ask her or him, do you have a friend that you would like to bring along on this journey? And let them sign that person up and begin the growth into management for that new consultant. You should also have a rolling contact list. A list of the names of people that you would like to add into your business and into your team, and then keep that list moving so that you always have new and older leads on that list. The 1-2-3 plan. Okay, so there's 3-2-1, which is 3 contacts a day, 2 shows a week, 1 recruit a month. But what's the 1-2-3 plan? Here's what that 1-2-3 plan is. Every month, personally recruit at least 1 new consultant. Every month, help 2 consultants in your personal team find a recruit. And 3, every month have at least 3 team members moving towards director. So the conclusion here is that being teachable is all about your attitude toward learning and growing. It is taking the time to be prepared and time spent reflecting on your business and the day. What can you learn from each day and enhance your days ahead? Okay, so here comes your questions and your action item for this training. Question number 1, are you using the power plan? And if not, why not? Question number 2, do you schedule time to reflect? How has this helped your business? Question number 3, would you consider yourself a teachable leader? And question number 4, what systems do you have in place that are working for you? Also, what systems do you have that are not working for you? So I'd like you to complete this action step based on this learning. I would like you to make a list of what skills you have put into your knowledge bank in the last 60 days. And then answer this question too, how will those skills help you reap huge deposits in the future? I'd like to thank you for joining me for this training, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.